Hello, IMG Dispatch and Operations Group. This is Evan Anderson. During our last call, I went over with my group the Initek fleet integrations, which is how our dispatchers communicate with both our wash bay and our garage. I did just want to give a quick demo of that. That can take 5 minutes or less. So this is kind of what we're looking for, which if you don't know what you're looking for, does look kind of like a rainbow. But there are some things that we have here. So on these three, where my mouse is, that's where the wash bay is involved. So right now at Anderson, we have 32 clean buses. This is the blue color here. We have one dirty bus, which is brown, and we have 19 vehicles that are on the road. So again, that is the wash bay. It is pretty intelligent in the fact that that is directly working with my Samsara telematics. When a vehicle leaves the lot, it gets marked, it goes to out. And then when it comes back into my yard geofence, it gets marked as dirty. There is a phone number that my wash bay texts whenever a vehicle is clean, and then it marks as clean. They could also change the status here to clean. So on the management side, there is some accountability. If you click these pluses as well, it brings up the status of when was changed. So for me, Nikki Bear cleaned this last on 7:30 at 9:25. So, if you get a driver or a customer that tells you the vehicle wasn't cleaned, you can use that for accountability purposes. So I like to always be filtered by all, and then usually we filter by departs in. You could also filter it by vehicle number. Our fleet currently starts at number 9. It works all its way down, but again, doesn't matter as much. You could do it by charter ID or by driver. Some of our vehicles obviously don't have them. So we always filter it by departs in. Other aspect of the vehicle status manager is the maintenance side. So again, it is communicating with our Samsara telematics through the DVIRs for this case. So there are some statuses here. There is ready, which is green. That is these green lines at the bottom. It was, a little bit of a challenge to get two colors, one representing the wash bay, one representing the garage. So that is why each bar of vehicle has two colors. So again, ready means there's no DVIRs. If there is a yellow, that means it is a safe DVIR. If you're using safe and unsafe, we currently have 0 that are listed as unsafe. And then there are also two statuses that you can use for a manual on the maintenance side, which would be if you're performing a PM. Obviously, that does not use the DVIR system, or if you want to put a vehicle out of service if it needs some longer work. So you can filter by what has only in the garage. What the system does for available is when a vehicle is both clean, the blue, and ready, which is mechanically safe. So right now, Anderson has 32 of the 52 vehicles are available. Pretty much almost all of the other ones are out on the road. So there are some other features in here. Um, WC for us stands for wheelchair, and stay and do is when a driver stays overnight, which, that was an information that we needed. We have some long range totes that we don't put in every vehicle, so this is keeping track of what vehicle they're in. And there's a notes field if you wanted to use that. We also use this up here at the end of every night. We'll put a spare vehicle in there for our dispatcher to know what the first vehicle is to use if there is. There is a more info tab that pulls up kind of what I just went over if you needed to do that. But as I described on the call, what this does is really strengthen the communication between our wash bay and our garage tremendously, digitizing it from what used to be whiteboards. And so that has definitely been increasing our operational excellence at Anderson. So one final thing that I will say about the VSM Vehicle Status Manager is that we do have this posted for our staff to use. So we have a screen posted in the wash bay, which again, you could customize it. So maybe it just has the dirty vehicles. We have it posted in the garage um, because they need to know what's going out at what time. And recently, we've actually found benefits of having it posted in our driver's room for the drivers because We've had obviously vehicles change in our operations. So Nick Slusher here comes in. He knows he's leaving. He's maybe checking into his trip, and he knows that he's in 23, which might have been a different vehicle last night. So it's just a third way to check in and make sure the vehicle numbers match. Another item that Initek does is they provide alerts. At Anderson, we have three types of alerts that are set up. Two of them go out at noon every day. One of them is a to the drivers that if they have a trip the next day, it is a reminder for that trip. And then a similar message goes out to the customers at noon every day for their trip that has some basic details. The noon for the customer really helps at getting them the driver info, as well as it allows them to know what's in our system. So if they need to make any changes, they can do that earlier rather than the day of. Final alert that we use at Anderson is a late alert, and that is when a driver does not check into our operation system, which is TBN. So the system is working with that, and if a driver does not check in, it sends a text message to our dispatch on call, who can then be calling the driver or whatever you do with that information. So that is how Anderson uses Initek. Again, it has greatly enhanced our operations, and I really could not recommend it enough.